Hello everyone, my name is Arpan and I welcome you all to the session Flutter with Flame. So here is a brief description of myself. My name is Arpan and I am a web dev and also an application developer. I am the co-organizer of the Flutter Vadodara group and a Mozillian as well. Here's my website, you can just visit and find more info about myself. Cool. So without further ado, let's get started. Flutter into Flame. So the question arises, it's what is a game? Basically we are doing like Flutter and Flame. So the first question must be like what is a game? And it's a very controversial question, like which is a game and which is not a game. So but we will not get into it. We'll just see that what are the aspects of game, what is basically the necessities of game development and all. So let's move ahead. So what are the games are about? Here I have they are the five set according to me. There's a goal and objective, means what the goals are there of a game to achieve certain levels or to rescue a ball or something. That's come under goals and objective. Interaction, this is one of the foremost point I must say, that how a user interacts with it, that is how the gamepad is there, how the frame rates are moving and how the user is able to interact with it. Third is the rules. Rules are very much necessary, like if there are no rules, then I must say that it's not a kind of a game, it's just a activity. So a set of rules makes a more defined game. Next is the challenges. A game is boring without challenges, right? And to make it more competitive, it's better to add some challenges, some pace to it and further ado. And the last is the outcome and the feedback. Outcomes are very much necessary, like if it's not the outcome and it's a never ending game, I must say that's a very boring, right? So an outcome is sometimes necessary in some cases. And the feedback, yeah, you should receive a feedback like how is your game going and what are the user facing any difficulties or if they want to suggest something. So it is a very good thing to have a feedback. Next is games are all about the multimedia. They are about the graphics, audio and the text. We'll discuss each of them. Graphics are very much necessary, like without graphics a game is, I must say, is very much incomplete. Without it it's just a moving particle, right? So graphics are necessary. Audio, there's always an option for add an audio. It gives an immersive experience of playing a game. The player gets more used to in playing the game. The next, the text is very much necessary to suggest any descriptive thing or all the necessary information. So these three comprises of a game. Next up is the performance. A game should always be a good performance, right? And it should be a quite responsive, like it should not vary like of a specific type of dimension of devices. It should vary across all the platforms, that is we can say cross platforms. The game should be a fun, right? A boring game is, I don't think so someone will like a boring game. It should have the fun in it. And last is the lag free. Yes, a lag free game is always necessary. If the game lags or the frame freezes, I think so it will not be a joyful experience for a user. So it must be a lag free. So here we can say that why only Flutter, because Flutter is one of the most I must say the easiest way of the more fast and blazing way of app development. And according to the latest survey, there are 2 billion plus user and counting. So it's a big huge number. Since it developed its released its first version back in December 2018, and such a high amount of user, I mean there's definitely something to it. So there are two kind of app basically. They are the regular apps and the game apps, and we'll see what is the difference between them. As you can see in the regular app, the UI are getting updated. So when you click it, you can just heart it. The APIs are called, so they are doing on tap or basically on action. So they are called the passive UI updates. Whereas in the game, you are doing the active UI updates, so that the without sometimes without any action or something, the game keeps on moving, the frames keeps on changing time and again, unless something occurs. So that's the difference between a passive UI update and a active UI update. So the game loop, very much familiar to all the game devs. So what is basically a game loop? Game loop is all about updating and render, update and render. So each frame gets updated and gets rendered. So the question is like, how, what is the input? Okay, so whenever the games get update and gets about to render, input is added. So after that, the same cycle, it gets the mixer, renders it, and it again updates, and the cycle continues for so on. That's all for the game loop. So the Flutter and the game loop, there are the two things. It updates using the scheduler binding, and it renders the paint using the paint box using the render dot paint. So if the flame engine, will be using that. Okay, so the main thing, flame. So what is a flame? Flame is basically a Flutter game engine, and it provides a solution to all the gaming in the Flutter as well. It was developed by Luan, and for now it has crossed 2.2 stars on the repository, I guess, and it's very nice. I really liked it. I had my hand on it and I really enjoyed it. So what will be today's agenda? We will create a game project, and we will kind of build a Flappy Bird like animation. We'll just do the bird animation, not the pipes and all. Okay, so we'll just make the Flappy Bird moving all around, just tapping and jumping. So it will be fun to do it, right? So get your hands ready, we'll be doing the coding. Okay, so this is the sample code I have kept here, and I have added a few stuff in the pubsec.yml file. So what I have done is I have added the flame dependency, and while I'm recording, the latest one is 0.25.0, and I have added the assets as we usually do in the normal Android apps, and I have added assets, images, and the file name. Here I want to mention is that please use the convention of the images, because there are audios which are also come under the asset thing in the flame, so it's better to mention the images. And the image we have used is the bird, very nice cute little bird, and this is a sprite sheet, and here each frame is comprised, that is 16 by 16, and what flame engine will do it will render each portion of it. Okay, so we'll just jump to the main.dart file, and as you can see, this is I have added some constant, and I will get them in a later part. I just added so that I don't forget it. Okay, and basically there is the run app, and instead of traditional my app or something, I have done the game.widget, and this widget enables you use the base game class. What this class will do is there are various components out there, so we can make various components, and what component does is it updates and render each portion of it. So whenever a component is executed, it will update and render automatically by calling the base game class. So we'll create one, that is extends component. Okay, I have added out here, and I need to override it. So okay, we have no use of this one class, but we do need to write this one. So I'll draw rect and rect oops, from okay. So I want to mention is that there are various size of the devices out there, and the size of the canvas. Okay, so it becomes very difficult to just go around in various sizes. There is a mixing in the flame which is known as resizable, which sets according to the screen size. So what I'll does is I'll just add the thing 0 size dot width, size dot height. Okay, so there's a paint and the comma. Okay, and oops, there's some issue. Okay, well, so I'll add this static background paint and at the final. Oops, lot of typos here and there. Paint and paint is equals to paint. Okay, but I'll write it. Color is equal to color as I mentioned it above here. Okay, so this is the color I have used, and I'll use it. Something that is missing out there, I'm not sure what it is. Okay, so a wrong one. And when I'll run it, just start it, I think. Okay, it will not. We forget to add it in the component. So bg, oops, bg, and it should set to go. Yeah, here you go, and here you have it. So similarly we can create other components. So we'll create a bird component. So bird extend. So flame provides us another animation component. It is the animation component which updates and renders the each frame. So here I'll just extract the correct constructor. There you go. I'll get rid of these. Okay, very good. And I'll update it with the size. Yeah, so I have the constant about the size. Image path, we have only one image, so bird.png. And here the amount. The amount just says the number of frames. In our asset, we can see there are 4 frames right over there. So we'll add 4. I would also like to add the texture width, that is 16, and texture height, that is 16 as well. When I save it and restart, oops, okay, I forgot to add the bird right here. Okay, there you go. I'll save it and restart, and you can see the bird right down there animating, right? But we don't want the bird right on the top corner. So what this constructor is like, we can just give it a X and click the position for now, and we'll use resize, override it, and is that this dot X is equals to size dot width by 2, and I'll go with the resizable thing again here, and resizable, I'll give the anchor here. So what anchor is, it will just put the anchor, the thing right on the corner and the middle of the bird, which will help to position it in the center. We just extract the anchor package and save it. You can see the X component lies right in the center. Similarly, we can get it for the Y component as well. So size dot height by 2, and here we go. A bird is right in the center of the screen. So we have created the flappy bird, right, and made it in the center, but it still doesn't look like a bird because it's not falling, right? So to do it, just add a double, and make it 0 for y. So now we need an update method, to update this thing, and I give it a speed y, plus equals to speed y times the t. What it does, it just fall like a normal thing. It will not look like a real, that it's falling with an acceleration. In real life, anything just falls with an acceleration, what we call is gravity. So above I have mentioned gravity constant, and its number is 400. I just added to somewhere like it's for with a real thing. And when I just update the formula, that is speed times t minus the gravity thing. Oh, my keyboard is not supporting me today. Okay, gravity times the speed divided by 2. Okay, there is real some stuff with my keyboard, and to be honest, I want to be very honest with you, I didn't know this formula from my physics class. Yeah, you're right, so I need to google it down. I hope you remember it. So this dot speed y is equals to gravity times the t. So now when just save and restart, okay, I have messed with some formula, right? Okay, I forgot to mention. Okay, so it keeps on falling. Whenever I restart, it keeps on falling. Cool, right? Now it looks somewhat like a Flappy Bird. Okay, so far we have made the bird right on the center of the screen, and it keeps on falling, but we need to reset the position, right? So for that, we need to create a function reset. Okay, here I'll grab these, copy. Oh, I should have grabbed, never mind. Okay, and I need to mention the reset here. Cool. Also, if a bird exits the screen, we need to pull it back to its original position. So if y, that's position of the bird, extends the height of the screen, then it should be reset, right? So I'll just restart the app, save it, and there you go. It will increase the speed, but we need to make it stop, right? So I'll make it this dot speed y equals to 0. There you go, right? So we have its motion got covered. Okay, so we have made the bird keep falling, so it's time to have a player interact with it. So for that, we'll create a boolean frozen white, and let's get this frozen equals to true. There you go. And let's do that if frozen return, just stick to the point. Yeah, it sticks. Yeah. So let's give some on tab and return to the base game. Here I will give the tap detector function. Detector on tab. Just indentation is important. Okay, let's remove it. Okay, I'll do it here. Bird. oops, equals to array equals to thing, and here I'll just mention the on tap. I've written here on tap and frozen. Okay, I was expecting a suggestion, but never mind. Okay, when I click it, okay, let's have a refresh, and when I save it, click it, it falls. See, so the user interaction has been activated, but that's all we wanted. Yeah, it should jump. Okay, so the bird is falling, right? But we need to give the player save her, right? She can't keep falling like that. Okay, so okay, just extract this, and we'll just return the case, and the next thing we'll do is be y. It's 2. That's it. We'll give a push to it. When I save it, okay, there you go. But it's not the thing, like it's getting too fast. So what if I add push to it? Okay, we sent her off to space, right? So we don't want that. And to remove it, we just use the speed y plus the boost. It's a clamp function, and clamp. Here I will use boost. Here I will use the speed y, and now it's quite like a Flappy Bird, right? There you go. Oops. I was not even okay. Yeah, there you go. It's fun, right? Ooh. So yeah, our Flappy Bird is almost on the verge of completion, and the last thing is like giving a more realistic to it. Like when we tap, it just falls directly center. No angle movement is there. So we'll try to add the angle movement, and trust me, it's very easy. So we'll get the position, get velocity, so that, got the velocity, position, typo everywhere. I get the 300, speed, oops. Okay, I'm really having a bad day with my keyboard, so please bear with me. I'll import the correct library. Also, when it's reset, I'll make sure that the angle is 0, right? So angle is 0. Okay, check. And we have the angle property in the flame as well. So angle is equals to velocity dot angle, and it should. Okay, there you go. So we have our bird ready in different directions, saving color from the pipes and help as well. So yeah, that's this Flappy Bird from you. Thank you. So I hope you like the coding part, and there is something more about the flame. So flame is all about on the component system. Apart from this, what we have to use, there are also these components you can use out and can try out something new. It also provides the audio, so you can get some audio effects or thing. It also supports the low latency mode, so it's very useful. Also, flame supports various graphics as well. The canvas access, as you saw in the code, we use the canvas access, the sprite and the sprite sheets, all the the frame by frame sheet we discussed. Flame also supports the animations. You can use various kinds of animations. Also, the flare, that is a Rive animation. That's absolutely wonderful. I just love the flare. It also have the SVG particles, parallax, and also the splash screen. So these are the various graphics it supports flame. And for the input you have, you just saw the tap and gesture we used in the uh, Flappy Bird thing, that when we just tap, so there's a tap and gesture handling. Apart from this, you can also use the flame gamepad, that is the physical gamepad on your cell phone. So yeah, you can also use that plugin as well. And for the integration, you have the tile is one of very famous thing. Also the box story physics engine. Box story is a very nice physics engine. And for your information, my friend Harsh will also carry out a workshop on Flamebox 2D, so make sure you just check it out, and it's really exciting. And also it also supports the Google Play games. So, and there's a lot more apart from this. And so there's a very credits as well. So I must say that huge shout out to Luan and Renan, whose session helped me a lot. And the side things, also these are the some important links you must carry out. The Discord is for the flame community. It's very nice community. You can just pull out your questions. It's very nice friendly community. There's a site with the flameengine.org. The GitHub, where the flame is the engine is there, the repo is about 2.2 stars plus. And if you want the code of the flame burst, so you can find it out right here. Also, there is special thanks to the Jam team for this wonderful opportunity, and giving me this wonderful stage to share with all the new hackers and all the game dev. Also, I want to thank my friend Harsh and Ayush, who helped me with this. I just review the slides and as well, and so huge shout out to them. So if you want to connect with me, these are my social media handles. You can just see it out, take a screenshot or something, and you can reach me out. I am always available. And thank you. That's it from my side. I am open for questions, so shoot it out in the chat box.